This is already making me really anxious to even talk about. Hey everyone! If you're new here, my name is Chelsea, and my channel is all about mental health, psychology, and self-improvement. If that sounds like something that you're into, then please consider subscribing. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about emetophobia. I have struggled with this phobia for as long as I can remember since I was a kid, so I want to talk a little bit about my experience with it, as well as what other people with emetophobia want you to know about it. So if you're curious, then keep on watching. First, I'm going to start with the general definition of emetophobia. So, emetophobia is a phobia that causes overwhelming, intense anxiety pertaining to vomiting. So some people with emetophobia fear themselves getting sick, others fear others getting sick, and sometimes, like me, you fear everything about it. I do want to tell you that there's one big difference between a phobia and a fear, and that is how it affects your daily life. So using my emetophobia as an example, I am constantly, and I mean every second of every day, wondering if and when I'm gonna get sick. I usually have to eat safe foods at home, at restaurants, wherever, and sometimes I won't eat at all. I know it's weird and I know it's irrational, but that's what makes it a phobia instead of a fear, because it affects the way that I live every single day, and there is absolutely no logic behind it whatsoever. But no matter how silly or irrational it may sound to others, it is real, it's debilitating, and it can be crippling. I have a very needy kitty. So I'm part of the Emetophobia subreddit, and I posted in there a few days ago asking other emetophobes what they want outsiders to know about this phobia. I got a lot of really awesome answers, and I want to go through those with you now, because a lot of the things that the people on Reddit said are things that I go through every single day, so their experience is extremely similar to what I experience with this phobia. So the first thing that we want you to know is that we know it's irrational and we know it's weird as heck. I promise you, we know that no one likes throwing up, but there's a huge difference in being uncomfortable with something or not liking something and having a full-blown phobia. Some people are so crippled by this phobia that they can't leave their house, they can't go anywhere, or they stop eating for weeks or months at a time and end up hospitalized because they are so scared of being sick. A lot of us honestly feel like we would rather die than get sick. I have actually bargained with God before to please, please, please not let me get sick this time. And it is just so stressful to sit there and think about that constantly. This leads me into my next point, that a lot of emetophobes can actually develop obsessive compulsive habits and even be diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder. Some of these habits can include constantly needing reassurance that we're gonna be okay, we're not gonna get sick, constantly asking questions regarding being sick to others that have been sick recently, or doing rituals to ensure that you don't get sick. Most of the time, we can feel perfectly fine, but the minute someone mentions feeling sick or someone they know being sick, we absolutely obsess over it. We think about every recent interaction we've had with a person that feels sick or has been sick. We need to know when you started feeling sick. Did you recently eat something that could have made you sick? What are your symptoms? Are you actually going to be sick right now? So because of this, certain words can be triggering for a lot of emetophobes. I usually personally don't have a huge problem with it. If I'm already anxious or feeling sick and someone says one of the words, then it'll definitely trigger me, but it usually doesn't trigger me if I'm feeling okay. But for a lot of people, it's really triggering to them. This brings me to my next point. I don't know why people think it's funny to make gagging noises or choking noises when you tell them that you have this phobia, or people love to ask, oh, what would you do if I threw up on you right now? That's not funny, so stop. I noticed a lot of the people in the subreddit do a lot of the things that I do. A couple examples would be carrying plastic bags in your car or in your purse or wherever, just in case it ever happens while you're out. And also always having peppermint, gum, or mints or whatever to help any kind of stomach upset. The last thing I want to mention that us emetophobes want outsiders to know is that please, please, please do not ever make us feel ashamed or silly about having this phobia. It is real and it really sucks. This is something that takes over our lives. We are constantly thinking about it. When's it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Is there any kind of virus going around? It's always in the back or even always in the front of our minds. Although I'm not a professional, I do want to give anyone out there that may be experiencing emetophobia a few words of advice. So the first thing that I want to say is to find a primary care physician who knows about your phobia and understands it and really works with you through that phobia, because if you're starting on a new medication or something like that, you want to know what the side effects are, and your doctor can kind of help you figure out something to get that maybe doesn't have as strong of side effects, or they can give you something that will kind of help your stomach if it does have those side effects. The second thing I want to say is to find a therapist who specializes in emetophobia. I personally have yet to find that, but if you can, then absolutely take advantage of that. The last thing I want to mention is consider joining the Emetophobia subreddit. I just recently joined, and it's probably one of the best things that I've done recently. Everyone understands what you're going through, and everyone shares their little victories and little struggles to help each other on their way to recovery. Alright guys, so that is all I have for my video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. I hope you have an awesome day.